When you get in your car and you think it sounds absolutely awful, it ruins your entire drive. My name's Ardil, welcome back to the channel. This VW Golf GTI is about to embark on the Cambridge car audio journey.
Thank you, Adil. So we will be upgrading the front stage of this Golf GTI. So the customer opted for the Audison Prima range. So we will be taking out the original speakers and we'll be fitting the Audison Primas, and then in the rear the customer wants a bit more depth, so we'll be doing the Audison 10-inch active subwoofer. So I've already started with our inspection, that is all complete. So the next thing to do right now is we'll be stripping our doors. We will start with our soundproofing. We've been given about 20 sheets to do. So we'll soundproof our doors and our boot. So let me get stripping and then I'll catch you on the soundproofing.
What a lovely day it is to showcase this beautiful Golf GTI. Rowan has done an absolutely lovely job, not only on today's video, but also going through the kind of install with you guys as he's been going through the work on the vehicle. Now I'm going to showcase kind of some of the options of what is available to do on the vehicle, some future stuff that this client might want to do or you might want to do in terms of future upgrades, or how we even come about speccing a system like this. So to start with, let's go through what is actually obviously installed into the car. So Rowan has installed a front speaker upgrade and a 10-inch active sub. So over the boot area to start with, this product here is the 10-inch active sub. So that means it's got an amplifier built into its own enclosure there, and it has its own power. So that's power delivery from the battery itself, and all signal comes from the factory media unit. There is a separate sub-level controller that Rowan's flushed in to the steering column area, which looks really, really smart. It looks like it's supposed to be there, and that blends in really nicely to the rest of the interior. There are a few different ways to install this sub into the vehicle. So one way is like how we've got it here, where it's on the boot floor, which is still pretty practical because you can still load things on top of it. So this sub is actually designed to be a downward firing sub. It sits on little 4 Velcro feet. Cables are neatly tucked in, but it can be removed if you need to. So there's a quick release connector, really easy to unplug if you do need all that boot space back, and that can be removed and you've got all your space back. But another way to install this product, and this is where we go through things during the consultation stage. So obviously the other way is to have it mounted underneath the factory floor on the vehicle. What that does mean is that you lose your spare wheel. However, if that's not that important to you, then we can have that mounted below, and then obviously you have a full boot floor available for storage. So that is basically the sub. In terms of the front speaker upgrade here, what the client's opted for is a stock look front end, which basically what that is a mid-bass driver in the OEM location and a tweeter up on the A-pillar. This is using the Audison Prima APK 165Ps. So for those of you who aren't familiar with the Audison brand, it's a brand that we use a hell of a lot and highly recommend for multiple reasons. But the kit that we've got here, Audison Prima, is in essence their entry level of speaker upgrade or speaker kind of branding as such. However, stupidly better than the factory, well, anything a factory can offer. Even brands like Bang & Olufsen or whatever brand it might be as an upgraded system from factory, Prima is still far beyond those. So we call it entry level, but still it is absolutely phenomenal. So I always feel a bit bad calling it an entry level product, because it's not. It is absolutely lovely and it's incredible. However, out of the Audison kind of branding. You got Thesis, you got Voce, and then you got Prima at the start. But it sounds absolutely incredible in here. Really, really happy with the final results. Rowan's gone through, set the sub up, tested everything, and I've gone through and done all the final checks on the car to make sure everything is inch perfect as we've gone through it. This system, what our client was basically after, is utilizing the original screen and the media unit in the vehicle. Didn't want to have kind of additional bits and pieces here and there, and that's why this system really does blend in nicely. Client actually came in for a consultation with us. We sat down, went through some options, had listens to some cars, and then decided on this particular system. This is a real favorite of mine because for those people that haven't had a system before, it's sometimes very difficult to decide on what you want. I've tried to make it as easy as humanly possible by having demo vehicles so you can come listen to it, but we get a lot of clients from overseas, international, as well as all over the UK. So people are traveling a bit of a distance and might not want to come to us just for a consultation. It is always still worth the trip, but obviously depending on where in the world you are, might not be an option. So with this in mind, we've designed packages on our website. So you can go onto the website, go to audio packages, select your car, make, model, and then you've got, on most cars, we've got kind of 10 to 12 packages per car. We are still in the process of building through those. So if your car is not listed, just drop me an email. I'll design your packages for you. But in essence, what we've got here is a stock look, and then obviously at the front end, then obviously we've got the sub, which we had the option to hide. However, our client wanted to retain that spare wheel, and that's why we've gone where we have. The really important thing about this, and I just want to showcase this to you, because in the rear doors here, we have a little cover here, but you've got, in essence, a tweeter and a mid-bass driver. In essence, the same as what we have in the front. The reason why I really, really like this option, and for those people who are unsure about what to decide on what to go for, this is a really nice step because this leaves so much room for growth in a system, okay? And the reason why I say that, the sub is incredible. It gives a hell of a lot of depth. It's perfectly fine. So the depth side of things is sorted. What you want to really avoid, in my opinion, is keep on having to buy new product because you get it wrong. This is where a consultation comes in. Obviously, these things always do end up depending on budget and what you want to achieve from the car. But for this client, for example, the sub is sorted. If in 6 months, a year, the next car, whatever it might be, the client wants to remove the system and move it to the next car, or for example, in this car, say a year down the line, okay? A client wants to upgrade and go down the route of an amplified system. I can take this set that we've got here, the Audison Prima APK 165Ps, the tweeter and mid-bass, move that to those rear doors. Means we created rear fill, and also what we've also done is created then a full car, because we can then upgrade the tweeter and mid-bass in the front door, for example, with a Audison Voce, Hertzmüller Legend, Thesis line, whatever it wants to be, creating in essence a full car, but no money loss on kind of spec of a product. It's not wasted. You're still being able to reuse it. However, we do have the option on the website for those people, but if you want to just do a full car with no amplification, in my opinion, it limits you a little bit, because the option is fine for those people who are adamant they never want to move to amplification, but a lot of our clients do return and have future upgrades done. So this is a really nice stage because you can move that product around the vehicle, move that to the rear of the vehicle, amplify it at a later stage, or even amplify this stage at the moment. But maybe you don't want to move to amplification, but you just want to take it at one next level. Obviously the bass is done, the clarity at the front end you're happy with. We could just upgrade the rears and then you've got your complete car. But it's hard to know these sorts of things without having done them. Obviously some people know that they definitely need amplification, they want more volume, they want more clarity, they want more bass, and you have to go down the route of a full system to achieve that. However, this is going to give more clarity as well as depth. It won't necessarily give you more volume in the system, mostly because we are not changing power delivery to the speaker. We're only changing the kind of last thing along the line. These speakers will sound naturally nicer and better. Reason is because they are more sensitive as a product. With that sensitivity basically means that it's more, it can handle and it can absorb those kind of, easiest way to, yeah, kind of absorb those kind of sound waves that it's getting, or signal that it's getting, and produce a far, far cleaner, nicer sound in the vehicle. And that is how basically an aftermarket speaker performs very, very well. So overall, a really cool upgrade on this Golf GTI. Absolutely stunning car. Really like how he's done a couple of styling bits, done like exhaust bits, the lowering bit. It looks really, really smart. And one of the nicest things about this system, there's room to grow. You've also got in the system, it's a stock look at that front end, which looks really nice. Obviously with the GTI interior, that looks really smart in there. You've obviously got that added depth. So lots of boxes have been ticked. Obviously acoustic deadening work that's been done in the door, which I believe Rowan's touched on already. Obviously the rear doors again have more room to grow. You can sound deaden wheel arches, we can sound deaden roof, floor, the rest of the boot area. Doors, you can do a lot of work on the acoustic deadening on a vehicle, and we are setting up a separate page which has actually gone live today for sound deadening as well. So I mean, it's absolutely incredible. It's really a nice system, and it doesn't break the bank as well to have a really nice difference, a night and day difference in a system, especially when you're adding that sub into the vehicle. So overall, I really hope you've enjoyed today's video. You've enjoyed Rowan showcasing the whole install to you, and once again, another car hits the road with a Cambridge Car Audio experience. I'll see you on the next one.